Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If you are new, welcome, glad to have you. Today we are talking about all things garden related. I'm super excited to share this with you about what I bought, what seeds I bought, where I bought them, and all the things. So just a little about our family if you are new. We are currently a family of 7. My husband and I, we have 5 boys currently right now. Our oldest is 19. He is getting ready to ship off to the United States Air Force in just a couple short weeks. And then our youngest son, Blake, is 11. And then we are foster parents of 3 little boys, ages 8, 6, and 5. So we are a busy family with lots of mouths to feed, and we love having a garden. We have always had a garden, like growing up. My husband and I did, like our parents had a garden. We didn't have a garden. We just helped with the garden, you know, as kids and things like that. And then as we got older, life got busier and we just didn't ever do it. Like we would grow a few things in buckets here or there. Well, last year, 2020, I had the opportunity, I'll call it that because it really ended up being an opportunity, to be laid off of work for a few weeks. Not very long, like 3 weeks, but it gave me a chance to put up a garden. I had the time suddenly, and I fell in love with it. We both did. We just loved, you know, of course the produce, but just seeing it grow, and the kids love seeing it grow, and then just knowing that we were able to provide that kind of food that we knew where came from, you know, that kind of thing, and we just loved it. And so this year we want to expand and grow more things. So we're still very new. So as we go over what I purchased, I will kind of tell you whether or not we have grown it before. Now again, both of our families are big gardeners. So Jacob's family comes from a large farm. They had a large dairy farm for many years, and then my family moved. We had a smaller farm, and then we moved to town when I was like middle school. But even after we moved into the city, we still had it's not like a big city, it's a small town, and so my dad grew a large garden with watermelons and tomatoes and all the things. Just in my elbow on that. So we are new, but our family is not, if that makes sense. But I still feel very green in this area. So if you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to leave them below, because I still kind of feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But that being said, I've purchased a lot of things. We did we didn't do a whole lot. I'll talk more as we go about like what we did last year and different things and how we're going to up that. We did not do a lot of seed starting last year. I started a few seeds. It didn't go really well. I mean, I will say this. Let me start with this. We felt we made every mistake a new gardener could make last year. And even doing so, we had a bountiful harvest of all of these fresh fruits and vegetables that was just wonderful for our family. So even if you're starting out and you have no idea what you're doing, and even if you make a lot of mistakes, that doesn't mean that it won't still be productive for you, and it won't still be a blessing. So that's kind of like, just start and try. So this year we are going to try to start more things from seed. Like I said, last year it didn't go so well. Most of the things I did that were the best producers were things that I bought already as plants. So that's one of the things I'm trying to focus on this year, is to save a little bit of money, because like I said, we have lots of kids. And so anyway, that's kind of where we're starting. First, I'll start off with just a couple things of equipment, basically anything non-seed that I have purchased for the garden before I get into all of the seeds that I purchased. One thing that I did purchase that has not arrived is I did break down, after reading all of the backs of my little seed packets and everything, and seeing that it really is helpful for a lot of my seeds to have a heat mat. I did order a couple heat mats, so I do have those coming, but I do not have them yet. But I did purchase 2 of these seed trays, these little 72 cell greenhouse seed starters. I bought one of them at Menards, and I bought one of them at Dollar General. They were $5 at both places, and they are obviously they're obviously manufactured by the same people, because they're very, very similar. If not, one of them is a very big duplicate. So either way, they're the same thing. A few things I bought at my favorite place in the whole wide world, right, is the Dollar Tree. I bought these tiered gardening pots, I guess stackable three-tier planter. Three-tier planter is what they are called. So I got 3 of those. I should have gotten 4. They don't have a really big, I don't know how big those are, 4 or 5 inches, maybe. Pot, maybe 4 inches, maybe. So yeah, the only thing is I need to figure out like a drainage. I'll have to have some kind of plate underneath it so that everything has proper drainage. But oh my gosh, $1 for these guys. Such a good deal. The next thing I bought several of these soaker hoses. I have never seen these at our Dollar Tree. That's not to say that they haven't been in other Dollar Trees, but I have never seen them in ours. And so I am really excited about that. That is the one thing that I knew I needed to address this year with the garden is the irrigation. So last year, basically what we had is we have 2 raised beds that my husband had built for us. They're like 3 feet by 4 or 5 feet, about that size. I'll have to measure it. I don't remember. It's been a year, right? But we just had to hand water. We hand watered both, but of course it wasn't that much. It was 2 of those. Then we did several things in buckets. And then we planted just a few things in the ground. The only thing we planted in the ground was our pumpkins, and they did really well. But that was one of the things that, knowing that I wanted to expand the garden, like hand watering, is a chore. Now, I have lots of little hands that like to help play in the garden hose, so that does help. But yeah, I thought that these would be really great, and so I think they're pretty good size, and we'll just see how they work. Another thing I bought at Menards was a couple of bags of this seed starting mix. It is by Burpee. It is their natural and organic seed starting mix, and this is one of the things that I think I did wrong last year. Last year I just started my seeds in potting soil, and normal potting soil, and not that you can't, and different things. So but I think that they will do better. I didn't have too much trouble with them germinating. I just had a little bit of trouble keeping them alive. So that is something we are going to try this year. And so I did get, like I said, 2 big bags of these. I think that 1 bag will fill up one of the 72 cell trays, maybe a little bit more. I'm not 100% sure. I might end up having to get more, but I started out with just 2 bags, and they were $5 a bag. I do have more of the plastic cell starter things left over from the plants that I purchased last year. So some of the ones that I purchased flowers and different things, I saved those. So we will also be able to use those. We currently live in town. The goal is to move outside of town on our own small farm. So hopefully that will, once we get, if you guys have seen videos before, and I'm terrible at updating them, it's really just a lot with the kids and caseworkers and all the things, right? But we are building a house. The idea is to build the house to sell, and then we will be selling that one and the one we're living in, and using that money to buy a small farm outside of town. So that is kind of the long-term goal for that. But one of the reasons I wanted to buy this mini, even though, so that back on track on what I was saying, right, is we do live in town. As you can see, I'm sitting in my bay window, and so you can hear like the traffic and things, and that's so again, we just want to be outside of town, but we don't have a large lot. I mean, I think we have a large lot for compared to cities, but we don't have as like compared to like just the Midwest. We have an average size lot. It's a little under half an acre. It's like 0.4 acres or something like that. So it's a large lot for for around here for some people, but not for other places, if that makes sense. So that being said all of that being said is that we do not have room for 144 plants or whatever, but I wanted to get them for a couple reasons. One, I want to start a bunch of flowers, so that we will have a lot more of those, but also because since I wasn't so great at it last year, I have room for air, and if we have any extra, we'll just give them to friends and family. A lot of this is about learning, and so that is that's just what we're doing is we're learning. So let's get on with all the seeds. Okay, so a couple places I have only purchased. I say that because I might buy more, right? I've only purchased seeds from two places, Baker's Creek Seed Company and Menards. And so that is the only two places that I have purchased seeds. First, we'll talk about Baker Creek, and then we'll talk about Menards and the experiences there. Well, not really any experience at McDonald's. You just pick them up and put them in the cart. That's kind of thing. But at Baker Creek, so one of the great things about Baker Creek is it's located in Mansfield, Missouri, which is not too awful far from where we used to live, from where our family farm is. And it's about 2 hours from where we live, maybe not that much, but but we have been there. So any of you that are Baker Creek fans, we have been there. We have seen the Pioneer Village. My mom and I used to set up a craft booth there during some of their festivals. So it's home. It's more home to us. So, but this was the first time I had ordered seeds from them from online. I have purchased some in store and different things, but this is my first time ordering seeds, and it came with an experience. So let's talk about that. First off, the pandemic sucks, right? It just does. Everybody agrees with that. And so one of the things is because everybody, I'm not sure if maybe it's been more that people have more time. Like that was the reason I started gardening more last year, and actually had an actual garden instead of just raising a few things in buckets. But I think that stores being out of things caused a few people to panic or be scared or things like that. And that's not what this video is about. We just want to be able to produce our own food for a healthier lifestyle, and we fell in love with it when I had a few weeks off to garden and we'll start that process, and then we continued it after I went back to work. So that's why we're gardening. But I don't know, but it has been crazy, and I think it's because of a lot of things. It's because of production, it's because of availability, it's because a lot of the demand, a lot of people want them. But again, I know that at their facility they have had their own employees with COVID that have been out, and that is hard on production, and they have to have more distancing practices and things. So all of those things combined is what leads to the fact that if you want seeds, you need to order them like now, like yesterday. Yes. Because I went to order them twice. I thought I was ordering super early, and I went to order them twice, and twice their website was taken down. They voluntarily took their website down in order to catch up on orders because they didn't want to get so far behind that they weren't able to fulfill the orders, and I do appreciate that. But the last time it happened, they put a thing that said that their website would be back up on January 20th, and so that is when I ordered my seeds, because I I was like, okay, they could take it back down. And even then, they were out of a lot of the things that I wanted to buy. So we just got what we could, and we did order more than we are definitely going to be able to use in this small lot. But we did that for a couple reasons. One, because if I go to order more, I don't know if the website will be up. If they do, they may not have them. So it was just, if I thought I might want to plant them, I went ahead and ordered them. And if we don't plant them this year, they will still be fine. For next year, you can actually save your seeds for several years. They lose their germination rate a little bit. So some worse than others. But anyway, this is what we got. First, they sent I think they always send a free package of seeds when you order, and they sent us a package of the Butter Crunch lettuce seeds. So I'm excited about that. Okay, one of the things we ordered a ton of was peppers. Our family loves peppers. One of the things we grew last year was peppers, and grew really well. We grew cayennes and Anaheims. Now, I bought bunny plants, and so I am not sure what the species of that was, and so that was a little hard because we really liked them. Our cayennes we did bell peppers too. We did bell peppers, cayennes, and Anaheims. I think that is all we did last year, and they all did phenomenal. I mean, we just had bukus of peppers. So we're going to try to start them from seed this year. Oh, and another reason, like I say, we thought we were early. Like our frost date is not until like April 26th, I think, or something like that. But a lot of these you do have to plant like 6 to 12. Some of them are up to 12 weeks early, and some of them we're going to be just growing in the house, like the herbs and stuff. So I wanted to get those early. So anyway, moving on. I got a poblano pepper. My husband really liked the Anaheims we grew, and so he likes chili rellenos, and so we thought we would get the poblanos to do that. We got some cayenne long thin, and we grew. I'm not sure if it was the species of the specific cayenne, but anyway, we did. We had so many cayennes. It was incredible and such a blessing. And we ended up drying most of them and made crushed red pepper. And my husband and my boys I do not like anything spicy, but they love it, and they put it on everything. Like it sits on the table. This crushed red pepper that we made, this dried crushed red pepper, like salt and pepper. Like that's when they use it, like every night. We got Ozark Giant pepper. So that is a sweet bell pepper. We bought Anaheim peppers. I bought Italian pepperoncini peppers. So, and then we also bought banana peppers, which I'm not sure, but I think are very similar. But leave me a comment below if you know like the big difference in banana peppers and the pepperoncini peppers. So, but we bought both of them. I picked up a whole bunch of, we didn't grow banana peppers last year, but I picked up a big like basket of them at the farmer's market, and I ended up canning them, and my husband loves them. So we bought them. We bought jalapenos. That is, we got the Craig's Grande jalapeno. This one I think was recommended on Living Traditions Homestead. They are a channel here on YouTube, and they have a big garden, very just a couple hours from us, not too far. In fact, in the town, they live outside of town, but that they live in, I actually worked in for several years when we lived back home. So that is what we bought. We bought those, and we love like jalapeno poppers, or so the boys do. I'm not so crazy about spicy, and you can buy. There is I think it's called jalapeno, but anyway, it is a jalapeno that tastes just like the jalapeno, but it's not spicy. But I'm not a big jalapeno fan, but my boys are. So we bought that. So we bought some sweet corn. Now this is not what I wanted. I wanted the it's one of the white and yellow ones. something cream or sweet. I don't remember exactly, but anyway, we have grown it back home on the farm. Jacob's parents have grown it back home on the farm for years. They usually order their seeds from Jones, I think. But anyway, they did not have hardly any sweet corn seeds left in stock. They again just check as they go because they come in and out. But and so I don't know if we're going to plant corn this year, but I just went ahead and picked up a package just in case, if I just get the urge to do it as the weather gets nicer, that's what we'll do. Let me look here. I was trying to go in order, some kind of order. We bought, last year I grew, what was it, Big Boys or Better Boys? I think it was the Big Boy tomato. Is that what it's called? Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, it's like a very popular tomato, and it did well, like so well. We had giant tomatoes, great. But we actually use our tomatoes mostly for canning instead of so I bought this one, and Roma tomatoes work really well for canning. But this review said that it was good for canning or slicing, and I liked that. So anyway, we're going to try that. So I got the Bonnie's Best tomato, and then one of my foster boys loves cherry tomatoes. He loves it. So I never know how long they're going to be with us. Nobody else in our family likes cherry tomatoes except for him. So if he ends up leaving us, then I don't know if to send the plant with him. I don't know, because I really bought those to grow because he loves cherry tomatoes, and so I thought that would be really fun for him to have like his own, like a couple, and I'll just probably plant just a couple of those, but cherry tomato plants where he could just have his fill of cherry tomatoes as he wants them. I bought some Market More cucumbers. These are like one of the most popular types of cucumber, and we did not grow them last year, but I did grow them like back home. Like I guess back home we did have a small garden. It wasn't anything major, but anyway, I have grown them before, and they did really, really well. So I did that. Now, this is something I have never grew, and I do not believe that either one of our families have ever grew this. I don't even know if it will really grow well here, but we're gonna try it. And it is the Martha Washington asparagus. Now, I read that it's like this is different than most like garden or most vegetables and stuff. It will come back every year. So I'm not sure how this really works. It also says that you need to sow it indoors 2 to 3 months before last spring frost. So I'm gonna have to get these started pretty soon. But I've never grown asparagus. I just dropped it off to get it. But we love asparagus, and so I don't know. I don't see it around here at the farmer's market, so I'm not sure how well it's going to do, but we're going to try it. And that's, again, these seed packets were like $2 or $3 a packet. I think some of the more specific ones were like 3 or 4, but nothing was so expensive that I'm like, oh my gosh, if that doesn't work out, how terrible. Like, that's okay. Okay, so I did buy, one of the things we did grow last year was kale. I don't remember what kind of kale we grew because, again, I think I bought it as I'm pretty sure I bought it as a plant already from one of our local nurseries. But I bought 2 types of kale. I don't know why this one is in a different, I guess they don't have a pretty pre-packet or like a pre-printed seed packet like this for the other one. But anyway, I bought these 2 different types. One is like the traditional, and then this one is the blue curled Scotch, and I thought that looked interesting. We ended up really liking kale. Of course we eat kale occasionally, but it's one of those things that I don't really remember to buy too much. But having it on hand last spring was wonderful. Like we ended up eating it all the time because we had it on hand. So I bought this birdhouse gourds. Now, fun little story. My dad has grown birdhouse gourds before for many years, and in fact, he threw out some birdhouse gourds. Now this says overpacked due to low germination, and so I have heard that it is a little difficult to grow. But I know that my dad had really good success. Now that being said, my dad can grow anything. But this one, like, okay, so what happened? He lives in town, and he has a flower bed with a walnut tree growing like around the flower bed. He built the flower bed around the walnut tree. So he threw out some birdhouse seeds from an old, I think he just had a birdhouse gourd he was going to make a birdhouse out of, and so he cut a hole in it. Anyway, threw them out there. They took off. They grew like crazy. So it vined all the way up into this walnut tree. And this walnut tree is pretty sad looking because it sits right next to the road. So the electric company comes by like every spring and cuts all the branches off because they don't want it in the power lines, right? So it's a pretty sad looking tree, but this birdhouse gourd plant grew all over. So you go out there and these giant gourds are coming down, and so he likes to sit out on his porch swing. That's again why my channel is called The Porch Swing, is because my parents loved sitting on the porch swing, and that's just where all life problems seem to work themselves out. So that's why I love the porch swing. But anyway, so these people were walking by and they're looking at this tree, and finally the guy says, what kind of tree is that? And my dad, without missing a beat, he said, there's a gourd tree. And they were like, a gourd tree? Huh, I've never heard of a thing. He's like, that's what it is, it's a gourd tree. They believed it. Anyway, so we are going to plant birdhouse gourds. We planted loofah gourds last year. I bought one plant. I was looking for seeds, couldn't find seeds anywhere. Found one plant. They had two at the farmer's market, but one of them ended up breaking, and so he didn't sell it. I didn't break it. It was just broken on the table, and so I was going to buy both of them and try to nurse it back together. But he was anyway. He didn't say. He's like, I don't want you to not, for it to not work out for you or whatever. But anyway, I bought one loofah gourd last year, one loofah gourd plant at the farmer's market, and it did so well. We ended up with, 4 or 5 loofahs, which I thought was pretty good for never growing them and not knowing what we were doing and things like that. And so it was really, really nice. So I'm looking forward to growing those. Another thing that I'm not so sure if I will grow or not is watermelon. But I did buy 2 different types of watermelon seeds. Your normal tradition. This is called strawberry watermelon. I've heard really good reviews about this. The only thing that I've heard is it's pretty seedy, but that's okay. But it's really good. And then this is Desert King. Now my mama used to call these yellow meated watermelons. I don't know if they have a different name, but that's what we called them, is yellow meated watermelons. And she loved yellow meated watermelons, and so do I. So I bought some yellow meated watermelons to try to grow. Watermelons are hard to grow around here. We are close to Arkansas, and they grow really well in Arkansas. But not being a novice gardener, I'm not sure how well they will grow. If they will grow well, I don't know. We'll see. If not, it'll be fun. We might try it. We might run out of space and not try it till next year. I don't know, but we have it in case we get just a hankering to do it. Okay, so next, what else do I got? Oh, I bought some green onions. These little green onions. Okay, so I have not grown any of these from seed before. I tried last year and failed. But my mother-in-law gave me some that was already started, and they did well, and we ended up eating them all. So that gives me hope, right? Well, I don't know. We'll try. Anyway, we did grow this, and the next thing we grow is pumpkins. We did grow pumpkins last year and had a really good time. And I learned a lot about growing pumpkins because we had never grown pumpkins before. My dad never grew pumpkins. I think Jacob's dad had grew pumpkins one time, and he got 1 pumpkin. But I decided I wanted to grow pumpkins last year. And again, learned a lot, did really well, got a very good harvest, I thought, for my ability and for kind of what happened, to be honest. So kind of what happened is, like, after they got I had built these little mounds, right, for the seeds. That's what you're supposed to do. But as they got like bigger and different and they started vining everywhere, like, I didn't build the mounds big enough, and I lost them. I just lost them. And so I'm just trying to water, like, as much as, anyway, this year I'm going to put like a stick in the ground or something, like, so that I know where to water, because I feel like they would have done even better if they had been watered properly. And I don't feel like they were last year. Even all of that, we still got quite a bit of pumpkins, and I was happy with that. So I bought 2 different types of pumpkins, a really big one and a really small one. So I bought Big Max, and this doesn't have a picture. It's just got a generic thing on it. And then I bought Jack Be Little, these little squashes that are little tiny. And I thought the kids would just love those, to paint them and set them out everywhere, right? Okay, so I also bought another type of lettuce seed, even though we got one free. You don't know what you're getting when you get it free, but I bought this this lettuce seed, so I'm going to try to grow that. And then I bought 2 kinds in these. I bought a whole bunch of herbs in the other one. I only bought 2 kinds of herbs from Baker Creek. I bought cilantro, and I bought lavender. Okay, so lavender is actually like a flower, herb. I don't know what you call it. Probably, I don't know. Is it a flower or is it an herb? Because it's kind of both, right? I don't know. Anyway, this is what I bought. And then I guess I could put these with the flowers. But, yeah, let's talk about herbs. I failed. Not once, not twice. I feel like I have failed several times trying to grow herbs. And people say it's easy. But it's not. Like, I have tried to grow basil and oregano and parsley, and it does okay for a while, and then it doesn't. And I have bought seeds, and I have bought plants, and I've just not been real successful. So tell me some tips. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. I don't know, but I'm going to try to eat it. But that being said, this is like literally the price of one little thing of cilantro or parsley in the store. So if I get a few sprigs of it, worth it, and it's fun, right? So lavender I have grown before. I don't think I grew it from seed. I think I had a plant. But one of the reasons I bought lavender, and then you'll see in my other haul from the burpee ones, is I bought marigolds, is they do repel mosquitoes. And my son is allergic to mosquitoes, like really allergic to mosquitoes, swells up. They just come from, like, we can all be outside, nobody will get bit. He'll be like bit 100 times. It's crazy. So, but anyway, so he is very much allergic to mosquitoes, so they kind of repel that. And so I just try to, if I'll do anything that'll help. We buy, of course we buy the off with the DEET, and then we buy citronella and all the chemical kind of things. So if I can do anything naturally that'll help to eliminate part of that, I'm willing to try, because at this point we do have to use the other stuff too. Avon Skin So Soft, all the things. So I did buy a couple flower seeds at Baker Creek. I bought petunias. Last year we bought petunias for in front of our house. Jacob made me a flower garden. We had some lilies, tiger lilies, I think is what they were called, and I call them ditch lilies because they grow in the ditches around here, but my husband's a cop and he calls ditch lilies something else, so anywho. But anyway, that we grew that there, and so we did a bunch of petunias, and it cost me an arm and a leg. Like, they were like, I don't know, like $2 or $3 for like 4 or 6 of them, and those are our entire house. So there was like, I don't know, I feel like I spent like $60 on flowers last year. So if this works, sweet Jesus, hallelujah, because I loved having it, but it was expensive. It was is expensive. Okay, and then sunflowers. I've never grown sunflowers before, but I'm growing this because Jacob's grandmother always grew sunflowers. Not a lot, just a handful. And I loved them. I loved seeing them at her house. She passed away a couple years ago, and I've just really been missing her. And anyway, then his grandfather passed away this year when we were at the house after the funeral, and I was looking out in the backyard and at her garden, and I was just thinking of those sunflowers, and because you could see where they had been, and I just thought, I'm gonna plant me some sunflowers this year. So I'm gonna plant me some sunflowers this year. I've never grown them, but I'm looking forward to seeing them. Okay, so that is a lot of Baker Creek. I still have all the burpees. Now, I will say when, I should have said this at the beginning of my Baker Creek review or whatever I bought. I ordered them because their site, and it said expect delay. So I was expecting it not to ship for like a month because it said like a 30-day or I don't know. It was crazy. But it shipped the very next day, which I was like, whoa, hallelujah. Like what? That's crazy fast. Now, they do use DHL, so I kind of feel like my seeds went on a world tour before they got to me because we live 2.5 hours or about 2 hours away from Mansfield, and it took like a week to get here or longer. Something like that. It's over a week, I think, actually, over a week. So it was, if their store had been, right now their store is closed. I would have just picked them up there, but their store is closed. So anyway, and also a difference in the seed packets from Baker Creek versus Burpee. Let's talk about seed packets. So yeah, flip them over, and that's where all of the great information is, right? All the things you need to know. There are things I like about both, and not just Burpee in general, but other plant, just in general. Some things you need to look at. One of the things that I love about the packaging in general from Baker Creek is they're really beautiful. They're big, they're nice quality. I feel like they keep the seeds protected good. They have a lot of good planting instructions, a lot of good things like that. So does Burpee, things like that. Now this, they have something different that I'm like, is it too much to ask for you to put both? Is it? So Baker Creek tells you how many days until it sprouts. That's great information. I like to know that because if I have waited, some of them are like, it sprouts in 3 or 4 days. Okay, if it's been 10 days, I'm like, oh, I need to know. I need to restart, right? But yeah, this one says 7 to 14 days. So if it's, 5 or 6 days, I'm not worried. This one, it doesn't tell you how long it takes to sprout. Well, why not? But you know what it does tell me? When I can harvest it. About how many days until harvest. This one doesn't. I have no idea. Now, I'm not harvesting the flowers, but you get it. It's the same thing for the squash. It's the same thing for everything. It doesn't tell me how many days it is. So, well, that might depend on like when I plant it is when I wanted to harvest it. So, is it too much to ask that we have sprout time and harvest time? Could we do that? I appreciate that. Thanks. So, anyway, all the good information, but other than that, I don't know. They just have different information. I almost think that Burpee has better information on the back, but Baker Creek does have a lot of good information on their website as well as Burpee's. Lots of thumping. There's lots of people in my house. Okay, so y'all, it's great that we've gotten this much quiet. To be honest. Let's be honest. Okay, so in the Burpee ones, I bought, let's start with this. I bought 2 from Menards that were not Burpee. They were cheapos, Green Valley. You can buy these at the dollar store. You can buy them everywhere. 59 cents. I think it was cheaper than that because this is suggested retail value or whatever. But I got 2 different kinds of marigolds. And again, marigolds are just one of those that they do say heirloom variety, so that's nice. But there were just marigolds are just something that I don't really care if it doesn't take as much or whatever. They're just flowers or not. I'm not eating it or whatever. Anyway, I just thought that I would just pick up some. I may still start them in the little seed pods or whatever, just so I have. But I have grown marigolds before. they always do well. They always do real. Oh, I think I also had zinnias. Yep, zinnias. My mother-in-law always grows zinnias, and I like zinnias too. And so I got all 3 of those, and I normally just kind of sprinkle those in and hope for the best, and pretty much let God take care of it, because I kind of tend to forget to water those, but they still do pretty well. So if you're a terrible gardener, try them, you'll do fine. Okay, and the rest of them I bought were from Burpee, and I bought mostly herbs, but I bought one vegetable. I bought 1 green bean. I did start green beans from seed last year, and they did well, but this is what happened. Since I'm new and I make all the mistakes, so I need to tell you these things so you don't do this. I planted them too close to my tomatoes. So my tomatoes, that being said, I didn't realize that these big boy tomatoes were going to be such big boys, and they were just taken over. Like, by the end of it, they were on the ground. It was terrible. They were everywhere. And so they overcrowded and shaded my green beans. So I didn't do so well on my green beans, but I mean, I got quite a bit, and I only had 2 plants, and we had green beans several nights, but not like we would have if they had had their own room. But these poor things, they just didn't have a chance. Didn't have a chance. All right, let's talk about all the herbs. Now, I obviously have lots of hopes and dreams for this. Now, I'm also real in thinking this might not work. Because I'm sad I haven't done well. But this is what I'm planning. I'm dropping them on these. I'm planning on I think I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna give it my best shot, and I'm gonna try to plant some of them indoors and some of them outdoors, and we're gonna see if we can figure out how to grow herbs. Now, my son's girlfriend, she grows like parsley and oregano and things like crazy. So if it doesn't work out, just have her bring me some. Anyway, so these are what I bought. I bought 2 different kinds of basil. I don't remember what kind I bought. I think it looked more like this. This is how technicality is. This is like, oh, it looked kind of like that plant more than it did that plant. I don't remember. But anyway, the one plant that did semi-well, as in I didn't kill it immediately, looked like that one. So I bought it as a plant, though. Again, I didn't start it from seed. We're learning, guys. We're learning. You guys have to help a girl out. Send me all the information. So anyway, I'm going to try these. I got some basil. We love basil. I got some oregano. Yep. I got some rosemary. I got some parsley. I got some cilantro. And I got some thyme. So, I don't know how it's going to go, but we're going to try. We're going to try all of this. Again, I don't know if some of these grow better in our area and some of them don't. I mean, I would hope they would grow fairly well in our area since they were selling them at a local store, but you never know. So that is a long-winded mess. I will show you. I'm sitting next to. I'll show you this. This is a bonus little thing. I got to repot this year. This is a Dollar Tree pot, and I started this aloe vera plant last year. I think last year, and it was a little tiny thing. I just poked myself all over them. A little tiny thing, and he has just done so well. Probably because it's aloe vera and you don't have to water it very often, and you go for kids. But it has done really well, and it has been. I feel like it's been growing a lot lately, so. I'm proud of it. But I thought I was sitting here, bonus. But anyway, so that is all of the hopes and dreams. Now, if it all doesn't work out and my seeds just don't germinate, or they just don't, I'm not good at hardening them off or whatever, then I might be back to buying plants. But I do know with a lot of the shortages of stuff, like things are still not like things here are still selling really fast. Like all of the gardening things are, it's hard to find some of these things, the seeds and the potting soil and all things. Like usually this time of year they're getting them in and they have them by the truckloads. And I was talking to our Dollar General manager and she said that everything they get, they just sell out so quickly. So I'm hopeful that they will have plenty of plants to buy, but you never know. And I fell in love with gardening, and I want to make sure that I have plants to grow. So we're gonna try this. Anyway, guys, it was so great to hang out and talk with you guys. Sorry this was long-winded, but I don't get too much of a chance to sit down and chat with you guys and show you things and film too much anymore with all of the crazy things going on. We have had some crazy things. Some of the things I wish I could share with you guys, but it's just, I can't. And so, but the kids are doing well. That's not been too awful crazy. I mean, other than, a house with 5 boys. But between work and mostly Jacob's work and then trying to build a house and kids and caseworker visits and parent visits and then we're both on like city and different boards and committees and things. It's hard to get time to sit down and talk to you guys, especially the time that is quiet, which all the kids are upstairs right now, as you can hear running around probably. So anyway, I have probably put them off long enough, and they're going to be down here soon. So anyway, guys, I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching my channel. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and that way we can be friends, and I will see you real soon. Bye.